Another thing, I also have these health conditions, underlying health conditions. I had ME, CFS since I was 18, fibromyalgia since I were 16. So I'm actually disabled from work, or yeah, I also have POTS, trouble standing up. I had to get myself a chair just to make this video. And yeah, so I had a lot of underlying conditions which I wasn't sure had anything to do with the Pectus or not. I did some research and I saw a few there was a decent amount of people having POTS and the Pectus excavatum, but there were also a decent amount of people that had the surgery and didn't notice any difference at all. And some noticed a lot of difference. So I think it's too early for me to say anything about that. I can say something about how my recovery has been up till now. As I said in the beginning of the video, I'm 4 weeks post-op now, so it's been 4 pretty rough weeks. I feel like my life is getting slowly like more normal as it used to be, but I started out having a few complications that wasn't all that normal. I had a bout of AFib, like heart fibrillation, which means the electrical signals in my heart just went bonkers and my heart rhythm was like uneven. And this happened the day after surgery, so and it lasted for 12 hours while I was at the hospital, and they tried to give me medications, propranolol, beta blocker medication, and water saline, but it didn't work, so they had to give me this electroconversion, which means they had to like give me electric shock to shock my heart back into rhythm, to like, yeah, and that worked for a while, but about 1 week later I started having heart palpitations and AFib again, but not like, it wasn't lasting for hours, it was like bouts of it. So my heart were normal, and then it started to go up to 140 and then down to 40 beats per minute, and then up to 60-70 beats per minute, which is the normal range, and then it was normal for a while and then up again, and yeah, so it started acting like this. Also, this has been a problem since my surgery, so I pretty much got a new heart condition which I didn't have before. Before I had POTS, which means I have trouble standing up for a longer period of time. I had to sit down or walk or move. I get this, I get weary, my head is, I get really tired, out of breath. My heart starts speeding up and it feels like I'm fainting, although I'm not fainting at all. I never fainted actually, but yeah, so POTS is pretty normal to have if you have long COVID or ME CFS. A lot of people with those conditions have POTS, and I do too. So I had that from before, but I didn't have uneven heartbeats or like extra heartbeats or palpitations or things like this. So it's a pretty uncommon thing, but it could be common with chest operations for older people in general. So as I learned from the doctors, it's not completely unheard of, but they usually do this surgery at like 17-year-old boys, and they don't have this at all. So that's kind of annoying. Also, I had the fluid buildup in my lungs twice after surgery, and this is kind of a more normal complication. So I went to the hospital and I had to like actually drain my lungs from this fluid twice. So that was the first 2 weeks, and I'm still having the AFib, or the fibrillation. So yeah, pretty rough recovery. I also had this cryo, which means they're actually freezing your nerves while they're putting in the bar. They're freezing the nerves, which means they are inactive for some time. 4 to 12 weeks is the normal time before they start growing back and you have more and more feeling. So in the beginning I was completely numb all over my chest, and now I can feel my chest again. And this also means my pain was, I will say, you know, this is one of the most painful surgeries you can get, but I was expecting hell, and it was hell, but it was manageable. And the cryo definitely worked for me, and I feel like this tingling feeling, and you know, the feeling of feelings coming back into my chest and burning and stuff like that. And I use cold, you know, I take some ice packs over my chest and ribs, and that helps a bit. I'm also still on strong painkillers, but I've been able to take less of that. So yeah, this was kind of a messy review. But let's say the overall it's been manageable, it's been okay. But the biggest drawback for me now is the fact that I have a new heart condition, which I didn't have before, and I'm not sure if it's going to disappear by itself or not. So the doctors by now, they say it's a pretty new operation. It's an operation of the chest, and actually my heart is pretty, the room my heart is placed in is different, you know, it's been moved around and it's a bit new. So who knows, it could be adjusting, it could go away by itself, but it's no way to tell, it's too early. So yeah.